Yes, you are listening to the Ready, Set, Retire radio podcast with Steve Anzuoni. My name is Jessica Forkel. Get more details on the website at fairwayfinancial.net. You know, sometimes, Steve, you find out something new about your partner, even though you've been with them for years. You spent all the time with them together. And here's what I mean. Here is comedian Jeff Allen. Listen to this.
She looks on the menu and she says, they have lobster. I go, yeah, they do. She goes, I love lobster. It's my favorite. And I look at her and I go, since when? You've been married 37 years. This is the first I've heard of your lobster thing. And she goes, oh, no. Well, they're so expensive. And I said, I can spring for one lobster a year, babe. Look, we'll Dave Ramsey it. I'll put $4 in an envelope every week. $4 in an envelope every week. 52 weeks, we'll have $208. Walk into the restaurant, I'll plunk all 52 envelopes on the counter. Get this woman a lobster.
That's funny.
Steve, isn't that great? I mean, you've been married for, oh my gosh, forever.
Hey.
No, that's a great thing.
38 years.
You ever find out something new about Tracy where you go, I've been with you for, almost 40 years, and I never knew this?
Yeah, pretty much every week.
Every day. We keep you guessing, right?
Yeah,
Don't we?
It's just ridiculous. I'm so predictable, it's not even funny. And
she keeps
I'm
you
always
on your toes.
Yeah, we'll go out to eat, and she'll say something, and I'm like, what? Like, like, for example, I know she's not a big fan of lobster, ironically. That's why I was laughing. But she does like certain seafoods, but not all. She's much more picky than I am. I guess how I grew up was, my father was a cop. He went to work. My mom worked at a bank for a while, then stayed home to raise us. And I got the old speech, what your mother makes you eat. Now, fortunately, she was an amazing cook, still is, and I had a lot of pasta being Italian, and I had a lot of steak because my dad was a big fan of, we used to call them Nick's Tips. My dad made amazing steak tips. His first name was Nick, obviously. But, they rivaled any that I've had in a restaurant. They were that good, and he used to love to grill out back. But the rule was you eat what's on your plate, and that's it.
Oh, my gosh.
And,
yeah, that was how it was when I grew up, yeah.
Brutal. You don't like it, starve.
Yeah, you don't like it,
okay.
Wait till the morning. Exactly.
So I got to like pretty much every type of food. I am not that picky a person. Of course, I went to a military school, so if I was picky, that took the pickiness right out of me because they had the same philosophy. I felt like I was at my house, Here's the meal, eat,
Yeah.
So and it wasn't like I could sneak any food back to my room either. So
exactly. But, the funny thing about this is,
funny.
especially nowadays with inflation and just how expensive things are, people go to restaurants now and they used to get the big steak or they used to get the big lobster, and now they're downgrading their choices because, maybe that's like now it's a bigger treat than ever before as they're trying to save money. But the thing is about this comedian, Jeff Allen, he basically is creating an income stream, as he talked about. He's going to Ramsey it, right? So
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I'll Ramsey it, babe. Don't you worry about it. How can those planning their retirement do the same so that they can take care of their basic needs and then they can have their big lobster special moments too?
Well, most people Ramsey it by putting their money in 401ks month after month after month after month, week after week over the years. And I still think that's the best way to go while you're working. I don't think there's a better way of doing it than putting your money in the 401k. Now, you could argue, do I do the Roth 401k or the regular 401k all day, which is fine, and that's another conversation. But the fact that you're doing it consistently every week out of your paycheck, there is no better system than doing that. Most of us who are working in our 30s, 40s, and 50s, we don't have a $1 million lump sum to start the plan out. So what you do is you throw in 10% of your paycheck, 20% of your paycheck. You do it religiously every week, no matter if the market's up or it's down. It doesn't matter. You just save, save, save. And that's why I feel today more people have saved more money than the previous 20 years of people that I've seen. And I think it's because of the attention that the 401ks have gotten and the fact that people are just more systematic. So we have become better savers as a nation, in my opinion. It's particularly in our retirement plans. Where we failed to complete that process is we failed to adjust. So when we retire or within a 5-year window, we just keep doing the same exact thing. And many people use that same pile of money to decumulate. In other words, take free withdrawals out without any thought to running out of money. And that's the problem, is that these 401ks are not pensions. I mean, companies did a great job disguising them as pensions and got rid of their own pensions because they were too expensive to keep, Jess. They didn't want the responsibility of having to pay someone a paycheck for the rest of their lives. Now, insurance companies thrive on that responsibility to pay somebody for life. As a matter of fact, old pensions were annuities. That's what they were. I mean, that's where you see all those life options and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So companies decided we don't want that on our books because it is very expensive. And as Susie pointed out earlier, Susie Orman, if you leave it with the company, you run the risk of that company going bankrupt too. So now what you have to do is you have to become not only a great saver, which many people are, but now all of a sudden you're posed upon to become this great income planner. Mm-hmm. Which we're not programmed to do, Jess, because you can't be a great income planner using products that are more designed for accumulation. Okay, it's just not the right fit. It's not a terrible thing to keep a good sum of money in there for growth, okay, because that's what it's for, and to offset inflation. But they were never designed to be a pension replacement, if you will.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So that's why these income annuities are more popular than ever, because as more people reach retirement age or within 5 years, they need to adjust their thinking, okay, when they retire. They have to go from putting money away every week or month to taking my bucket and creating cash flow. In other words, creating an income bucket, not just a lump sum bucket that might fight inflation in good years, but be a bad inflation hedge in negative years. So that's the biggest challenge. It's the biggest pivot that people must make when they retire. And there's no book on it. There's no training book. It's not like you can go on the internet and say, hey, I'm going to become a professional income person. You've got to put the years and the time in like I have.
I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, there's a reason why you do what you do, and you've been doing it. I mean, you're at 39 years this year, and there's a reason why our listeners, whatever your profession is, that you do. And something as so crucial and important as your income and your retirement, you want to work with a professional, somebody that literally knows the ins and outs. They live and breathe this every single day. And Steve, that's you. I mean, you don't want to go, I know nowadays everyone's a DIYer. They go to YouTube, or now they're going to AI, Chat GPT, going, how can I create a retirement plan? That is not the way to do it, guys.
There's no button for that, although some might come back and say, well, buy an income annuity. Well, that's good advice, but which one? And that's where I come into play, where I have over 60 companies to choose from, and that's why I became independent and why I focus in that area 99% of the time. Of course, I do the life planning, the legacy planning, the long-term care, but that's all that type of that side of the business, if you will. Too many people, I think, out there become general practitioners. And think about it. We have a general practitioner as a doctor. You see him first or her for pretty much everything today, right? You got to go to them to get to a specialist. You can't just go to a specialist. You got to go to the person, get a referral, and then go see the specialist. That's how it works these days, so that everybody can get paid, Jess. That's how it works. But there's no way. Like, I just went through, you just mentioned the knee replacement surgery, and it was...
Absolutely.
Oh, God. It was very scary. I mean, it's a scary surgery to go through. I mean, it's scary. I don't know what else to say, but you're sitting there, on your couch the couple of days after you come back, and you literally cannot move your leg. You can see your leg, but you can't raise it. It's just frightening. You're like, oh, my God, will it ever work again? And then you start to slowly get it going again. But you go to a specialist for that. I didn't go to my primary care doctor. You go to someone. That's all they do, okay? They don't do other stuff. I go to a knee guy. I want a knee guy. I don't want someone who does, hey, here's a guy over here. I'm going to do his brain, and then I'm going to come over here and do a heart. You want someone who knows what the heck they're doing. That's why my practice is that type of practice. And I work with other professionals who do what they do and focus, they're laser focused, like my attorney is laser focused on doing trusts and wills. He doesn't do a million things. And my money guys, I call him, he is laser focused on managing money, managing wealth, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do any other stuff. He can, but he's not as good at it. And I used to do that a little bit back in my John Hancock days because, ironically, they required me, Jess, to be life licensed, annuity licensed, property and casualty licensed, and mutual funds. Yeah, I had to have all four or five licenses when I was with them back in the day. And it instantly made me a general practitioner, which is one of the reasons why I left and went on my own. So that's what we need today is people who, focus on something, are very good at it, and aren't afraid to admit they're not good at everything. And I am not afraid to admit that. This Jeff Allen guy sounds like I can listen to him for a while. He sounds like he's hilarious. But he talked about the envelopes, but that's kind of what we do. We create envelopes for the future. But when we get to the future, we have to create envelopes coming in and not envelopes going out. By the way, he's not too far off of the lobsters. You know what I mean? Like $200 up here in New England will get you a great Maine lobster. But, but I mean, you got to be a little more diligent, all of us, I think, when it comes to the retirement planning. There are different baskets for different reasons, and that's why I do what I do, and I focus with my crew that I work with, and it helps people get a better overall experience, if you will, when it comes to all this planning. So, look, everyone out there, you're no strangers to the show. I have a lot of repeat listeners, and I appreciate that. I have people coming in all the time saying, hey, Steve, I've listened to your show for 5 years, for 7 years, for 3 years, and I love that. I love hearing that. And this week, like I said, was a full week where I had about 5 or 6 people from the show all come in. They wanted to see the studio, and it's a fun little studio that I have built into the office. And I would love to invite everyone out there down. Come see the office. Come meet the team. I have a great team of gals in my office who run the show. You'll get to meet them. One of them's my wife, Tracy, and then there's Kelly and Kimberly. And we do a great job, I think, providing service for people, helping people, and love what I do and love to come meet us at the office. And Jess will tell you how to do that, but you need to take that first step, and I will carry the load from there.
Get more details on the website, fairwayfinancial.net. That's fairwayfinancial.net.
Steve Anzuoni is a licensed insurance provider by the Division of Insurance and is not registered as an investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve Anzuoni, Massachusetts Insurance License 3851053. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Anzuoni is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Anzuoni is licensed in your state, please call 508-398-3337.